Hey, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Forgot what day it was for just a second. Listen, I hope your week is going great. Today, we're going to talk about how to succeed, not just survive, but thrive during tough economic times. And so definitely encourage you to grab a pen, piece of paper, or however you take notes, because I'm going to give you some things that have made a major impact in my life and a lot of people that I work with. Some of these things took me years to finally figure out. And so what I want to do is turn those decades of entrepreneurship and going through challenging times, I want to turn that into compressed time frames and show you how to get to where you want to be a lot sooner than later. Do me a favor as you join, okay, whether you're live or on replay, let me know where you're watching from, what city, what state, what province in Canada, what country, and then we're going to get started. We're going to get straight down to business here in just a second. And by the way, you have to give StreamYard permission to show your name. So whoever just said, hey, Darren, I see Facebook user. So if you did not give them permission, just let me know your name and where you're watching from. Culpeper, Virginia. All right. My previous stomping grounds for one of our franchises. I love Culpeper. Hey, Lucy in Sacramento. Thanks for joining. And listen, we're going to go ahead and get straight into it because I know when people watch the replay, they don't want to hear me chattering for a long period of time. But saw some numbers and some things recently that were pretty crazy. So in 2022, from 2022 to 2023, layoffs jumped 98%. 98%. That was 2022 to 2023. And we're going to talk to you about it in just a second. What does 2024 look like? Here we are, the first month of the year. And the companies that are laying people off, it is nuts what's happened the first month of the year. But here's the great news. I'm going to show you how to crush 2024. I'm going to show you how to not only just change your business, but things that you can do that help impact every single area of your life. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to StreamYard, which is the platform that I'm using right now. And I absolutely love this platform for many reasons, because right now I'm going live on, I think it's 7 different locations, from YouTube, X, Facebook, multiple groups, you name it, LinkedIn. And so this platform that allows you to work smart. We're all busy. There's only so many hours in the day, but this is basically like having your own TV studio. So if you go to StreamYard.com/DK, not only is that referral link, it's my referral link. It's going to give you a discount, free trial, but a discount for life. So I encourage you to go check that out and take a look and give it a shot. All right. Good morning, Jennifer. Great to see you out in California. We got my great friend Jeannie. You got Fred Duff in Richmond. All right. So let's talk about it. So once again, 2022 to 2023, layoffs jumped 98%. Already this year, let me know if you've heard of any other companies besides the ones that I mentioned. Comcast, they're going to lay off 4% of its staff. LA Times and Sports Illustrated laying off people. PayPal cuts 9% of its workforce. That was just yesterday. UPS yesterday, 12,000 jobs. That was announced yesterday. Microsoft, 1,900 plus jobs. We got Salesforce cutting 700 jobs. We've got Twitch, 35% of their workforce. Discord, 17% of its workforce. Wayfair, 13%. eBay, 9%. BlackRock, 3%. Citigroup cuts 20,000 jobs. Google cuts 1,000. Amazon cuts several hundred roles. Right? And much, much more. And so what do we do in times like this? That's what I'm going to talk to you about. How to not just survive, but thrive during tough economic times. And by the way, if you have any, and I'm only going to give you 3. I'm going to be very brief. I'm going to be to the point, but these are game changers. And I don't even like saying words like game changers and, all that kind of stuff, because we're so used to the hype. But I'm going to tell you, if you get an aha moment, do me a favor and smash the love button on whatever platform. Make sure you subscribe. If you have people that you know that are going through challenging times right now, let me tell you what, it could be the best thing that ever happened to you. It could be one of the best things that ever happened to one of your friends if we do the right things. And that's what I want to share with you right now, because as we're going through these, winners make things happen. Losers wait for things to happen. Okay, winners make things happen. Losers wait for things to happen. And for some of you, right, and I'm not asking you to put this in the comments, but it seems like no matter what happens with the economy or in your life, you always seem to end up exactly where you are. You're like, man, why can't I get ahead? Why do I feel like I'm on a treadmill and I'm stuck? Well, Albert Einstein said we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we use to create them. Let me repeat that again. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking that we use to create them. In other words, your future is hidden in your daily repeating patterns. So how do we break through that? Another thing I want you to write in your notes: the same version of you that got you to where you are is not the same version that gets you to the next level. It's going to take a different version. It's going to be Darren Kidd 2.0, right? Fred Duff 2.0, Jennifer Bradshaw 2.0. It's going to take a different version to get us to the next level. So let's talk about the three things. Number one, the quickest way to change your life in every area is you change your environment. Some of you have heard me say this many times before, and I'm hoping you're going to get it after the 5th, 10th, 15th time. That one of my biggest aha moments that took me forever to learn, and I'm hoping it's not going to take you as long to learn this, is that we can be enslaved mentally by the people around us and by our current environment, because we know we become who we hang around. That's a fact. It's not up for debate, right? We catch what we're close to. So when you start hanging around people that make you uncomfortable, because your comfort zone is designed to keep you safe. So when you're in the room, like recently I had a chance to go out and be in a room where it was something totally new to me. I heard about this type of technology and I heard about these things, but I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, man, I'm going into a room where I am probably have the least amount of knowledge of anyone in the room. But I don't care. I want to get comfortable at being uncomfortable. I want to get around people that think so big, they speak so big that it scares me, right? Because I know that my comfort zone is trying to keep me safe, but it looks at sameness as security. So if I'm around the people that I'm always around who speak the same way, act the same way, think the same way, then that's rubbing off on me because I'm catching what I'm close to, and my environment is working harder on me than I'm working on my environment. I've got to get into a different environment that scares me. It shakes me up a little bit. It makes me think a little bit differently, because when you think differently, you start to behave differently. When you're behaving differently, you're creating new habits and rituals. When you create the new habits and rituals, then you're going to create new results. So it changes your perspective. It makes you aware. Awareness leads to change. And there was a quote. Let me see where I put it. Here it is. It is said that in medicine, a proper diagnosis is half the cure. A proper diagnosis is half the cure. We don't even know what we don't know. But when you change that environment, and all of a sudden you're changing your focus, you're changing your thinking, you're changing your speaking, you're changing your actions and behaviors, which creates your habits and rituals, then they create you. Because we can't, if we feel like right now, even though comfort zones are not comfortable, like why do people that are abused stay in that abusive relationship? Because when you feel like that's your home, you don't want to leave. A comfort zone is not comfortable. So you can't move from something if you feel like you should be there. Like poverty, like barely getting by, like chaos, drama. So sometimes it's not how do I go achieve my goals and my dreams? It's who do I need in my life around me to go achieve my goals and my dreams? It's not how, it's who. So as we go into these challenging times, when you hang around people, I just spoke at Dr. Fab Mancini's event out in Orlando. And we're sitting at a table with people, one lady, she was in the movie The Secret, worked with Robert Kiyosaki, got all these New York Times best-selling books, big financial guru. Here's another gentleman out of 33 million companies in Inc. 500. He's number, I believe, 41 on the list, but in his category, number 1, right? And that's just 2 of the 100 and some people that were in the room. Okay. There's another guy, a friend of mine sitting beside me who has multiple companies doing billions a year. And as I'm listening to their conversations, they're not talking about the same things that the people I used to hang around talk about. They're not talking about, oh, it's the economy, it's the election, it's this. These people, they win no matter what. Do they have failures? Do they have challenges? Yes, we're going to talk about that in a second, but they win. They understand that during challenging times, that's where opportunity is hidden. Right? It's hidden for the people that are looking for more people to serve. With this year, if we know that in 2022 to 2023, that layoffs, where was that quote I just had? Layoffs were, where was the number? I got it here somewhere. Give me just a second. Jumped 98% from 2022 to 2023. And I just gave you a few of the 2024 layoffs in the first month of 2024. Do you think there are going to be more layoffs and more challenging times this year than last year? Absolutely. But with that, just like in Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich, he goes, look, with every seed of failure is a equal to greater seed of success. What he's saying is like, look, the challenging times are a blessing. The obstacles are blessings in disguise. It's the obstacles that lead you to elevate to the next level if you're asking the right questions. Like, look, what are the problems that I can solve? Who are the people that I can serve? Where can I make a difference? What are the paradigm shifts that are coming this way? Right? Industries are being disrupted every single day. If you look at Uber, they go, we're going to take on taxi companies. Like, that's the stupidest thing in the world. How are you going to do that? Are you going to buy a bunch of cars? No, we're going to use everyone else's cars. And they disrupted and crushed the taxi business. If you look at Airbnb going, look, we're going to compete with the biggest hotels in the world. Well, how are you going to do that? Are you going to buy a bunch of real estate? No, we're going to use your home. We're going to use other people's homes. If you look at blockchain technology, which is the thing that I'm really into and studying and researching, and I'm in with some of the best blockchain people in the entire world working on some projects right now, they're like, look, this is disrupting every single industry. So this year is going to be a year that can set you up like you've never been set up before if you're focused on, number one, what type of environment are you in? Who are the people that you need to be in your life? Who are the people that you need to limit time around? Because they're always negative. They're always looking for what's wrong, not what's right. They're speaking the wrong things. They're focused on the wrong things because you catch what you're close to. Number two, change your perspective. Let me know real quick, all right? Any aha moments so far? Any of you are like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear something that you just said. And again, click that share button. Make sure you're commenting. Make sure you're tagging. The more you comment, the more you tag. One, it lets me know you're getting value, but two, it helps the algorithm. It helps people that need to hear this message get it out. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. All right, so number two, change your perspective when it comes to challenging times. Change your perspective when it comes to challenging times. Nelson Mandela, do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. Let me repeat that again. Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. The most successful people in every area of life, they're the biggest failures, but their perspective is totally different. They're looking at the obstacles and the challenges is something that's actually helping them improve their life and get to the next level. Do you know now the science shows that you actually produce more endorphins on the journey to achieving a goal than when you actually achieve a goal? That's why Jim Rohn goes, look, it's not set a goal to make $1 million, not for the $1 million, but who you become in the process of making the $1 million. So are you enjoying the journey and the challenges and the not stumbling blocks. Okay, but not a roadblock, but a stumbling block. Help look at those as ways that elevate you, because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And those challenging times in life force you to ask different questions, force you to say, not how do I do it, who do I need in my life to help me do it? So all of these things start to work together. Fear and failures are your friend. We go, man, I don't want to fail. That's not the way to look at it. Because again, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, with every seed of failure is a equal to greater seed of success if we ask the right questions, if we have the right perspective, if we don't just go through those challenging times, we're growing through the challenging times. So I know that every time I go through challenging times in my life, I'm asking myself, what do I need? Who do I need to become to get to the next level, right? What am I missing? Who do I need in my life? When mentors told me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear, going, Darren, you don't make what you want, you make what you are. You're right where you should be right now. Your external world is a mirror of your internal world. Your external world is because it's based on the value that you're bringing to the marketplace. If you want to make more, you have to become more. And then you need to work on solving these problems, because the bigger the challenge, the bigger the paycheck. When I started hearing those things, I'm like, wow, okay, so this is things are not happening to me, they're happening for me. The world is actually conspiring to do me good. So many times in my life, I was talking to a billionaire last week. The guy's worth $2 billion. And I'm like, man, there's so many times in my life, I've actually felt like God was punishing me. When I was begging God, I don't know if anybody else has ever felt like this. You don't have to admit it, or you can. I think it's good to be authentic. I go, look, there's so many times I've asked God, are you punishing me? I've asked you to guide and direct me. Like, use me however you want to use me. I don't care. But then why are these things happening to me? And then later on, I see, look, they weren't happening to me. They were happening for me. When I was asking God to guide and direct me, that's exactly what he was doing. But he could see what was way ahead. And so as I look back, I would, boom, hit this door that closed on me. But when this closed, this one opened. And then when I went over here and this one closed, I'm like, dang, again. But what he was doing was guiding and directing me exactly like I begged him to do. And it wasn't until later on, I'm like, man, thank you, God, right, for doing what I asked you to do, which was guide and direct me. Help me open the right doors and close the wrong ones. Make sure I know the difference. Give me favor with the right people. Give me exponential growth to where you are the only reason, the only explanation. I can't be that good. It has to be because of your favor. And then I get through. Sometimes we have to go through what God is trying to get us to. And so when you change your perspective on the challenging times and you change the filter, and you focus forward. That's something that you probably want to write down. Focus forward. The only time I look back now in my life is to learn from lessons, because I know, and we've heard this before, like the reason your rear view mirror is smaller than your windshield is because you're supposed to be focusing forward. I'm not looking back because that's not the way I'm going. The only time I look back is there a lesson that I can learn something from so I don't make that mistake in the future. So when you start doing those things, it changes everything, because we move in the direction that we're focusing, that we're looking. Bamboo. If you look at the story of the bamboo, you can research it. I just did this for fun. And for 5 years, this is why it's called a process. Don't get mad at the process. We're being trained at an early, I was listening to a pastor the other day about David. And if I'm not mistaken, David, when he wrote the Psalms, was like 12 or 14 years old. He didn't fight Goliath until he was 17. And we look at, here's David out there, he's with sheep, right? And he had to fight, a bear and all these different things. It was preparation, not punishment. So as we start to look at things, if you look at bamboo, the process of 5 years, right? You're out there right now, and here's Jeffrey. He's planted some bamboo, and he's out there, and his neighbors are watching him water a dead spot in the ground for 5 solid years. They're like, man, that Jeffrey, I don't know what's wrong with him, because every day he's just watering this one spot and there's nothing there. He's right. But little did they know, it takes 5 years for that bamboo finally to break through, right? Break through that ground. And then within 6 weeks, it can go up to 90 feet. So did it grow 90 feet in 6 weeks? No. It was working on the foundation, the root system. Without the right root system, if it shoots up, 90 feet in 6 weeks, it's going to fall right over. And so what we're going through right now, the challenging times, you're building your roots, you're building your foundation. It's not punishment, it's preparation for that next level. And when you start looking at it from that perspective, everything starts to change. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at start to change. And last but not least, focus on the right things and grow yourself. Not focused on all the bad things that are happening in the economy. If I watch the news right now, I want to sit, soak, and be sour, right? It's demotivating. It's depressing. And so I don't sit there and do that. I know that garbage in, garbage out. I know that this is the most powerful supercomputer ever created. And if I want to go achieve my goals and my dreams, if I want to impact the world, which I do, right, then I can't sit there and focus on the wrong things. I've got to make sure that I'm working on myself daily, which I am. I am growing every single day, no matter how I feel. So I'm not every day. I don't feel like listening to a sermon every day when I get up, but I do. I don't feel like listening to my devotions on the Bible app every day, but I do. I don't feel like listening to personal development and watching trainings and reading books every day, but I do some of that or all of that every single day. Because I know the same version of me that got me to where I am is not the same version that gets me the next level. I know I don't make what I want. I make what I am. I know that I get paid based on the value that I bring to the marketplace. So I've got to work on adding more value so I can impact more people, so I can make a ton of money, so I can give a ton of money away to help, because I know this life is temporary, right? I'm only here for a short period of time. I don't want to wait 10, 20 years because we're not guaranteed 10 or 20 years. I want to make 2024 the best year ever to impact and motivate and inspire and train people like you to know that you're not living to your full potential. I'm not living my full potential. We're made in the image of our Creator. We're made to create. But yet the world wants to tell us about our lacks and our limitations instead of our possibilities of what we can go out there and do. And the enemy is inside me. The enemy is inside you. It's the invisible lid in your own head. It's those limitations that you're giving yourself. It's not what goes on outside of you. The most important thing is what goes on inside of you. You will never get past those self-imposed limitations. So are you working on you daily? Because you cannot give what you do not have, right? You can teach what you know, but you're going to reproduce what you are. Let me repeat that again. You can teach what you know, but you're going to reproduce what you are. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If you've noticed, some people attract drama every place they go, right? They're like a magnet. So if I'm a magnet, I would rather be a magnet for great things, for great people. I want to attract those people. I want to repel the people that are not my people and attract the ones that are. Can I get an amen on that one? You can't have uphill hopes and downhill habits. I heard John Maxwell say that. You can't have uphill hopes and downhill habits. You can't just have good intentions. You have to have good actions, right? You can talk the talk, but do you walk the walk? Are you out there every day, right? Fighting and facing forward and getting a little bit better and changing your perspective and making a difference. All of these things work together. You cannot have good results unless you take good actions. But remember, you're not going to be good at first, right? You're going to take imperfect action. You're going to fail forward. You're going to go, man, I don't feel ready. That's normal. Well, I don't feel motivated. That's normal. motivation. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline, right? It's about discipline until they become habits. And then those habits and rituals, they make you or they break you, depending on if they're the right habits and rituals or they're the wrong habits and rituals. So those are the three things that I wanted to talk to you about today. They're very simple, but here's the great news. It's something that each and every one of you can do. It's something that every single one of us. It's not something you can tell. I'm not just talking these things. I'm living, breathing these things because I want my story going, man, if that old country boy, Darren kid who was bankrupt and car repossessed, going through his little kids' change in their piggy bank just to be able to eat, if he can go out there and do it, I can do it, right? He's a college dropout. He didn't even make it through college. He was depressed. His house looked abandoned. They still make fun of me. Guess what? Somebody called me just a little while ago and was telling me about somebody locally talking about me. Oh, look at him on a private jet. He thinks he's so big, all that. I'm like, look, you know what? If they got time to talk about me, they ain't doing anything because I'm not talking about them. I'm not thinking about them. And I don't even want to talk about them now, right? Because negativity is not going to help me get to where I want to be. And so just understand when you go make these changes, the people around you will fight to keep you exactly where you are because you make them uncomfortable because all of a sudden you're shining a light on who they are, not you. And you know what? If they want to go ahead and if their name, okay, if they're speaking your name out of their mouth and it's negative, it's still attention. They're giving you attention and they're not doing anything. Dogs don't bark at a parked car. So the only way you don't have you don't have people talk about you, don't have anything, be anything, or do anything, live a life of insignificance. So what I told this person, I go, you know what? If they think they have something to talk about now, give me 6 to 12 months. I'll give them a lot more to talk about. If they want to sit there and continue, their life is so bad. They want to sit back and look at my social, try to find out what I'm doing, and then call somebody else up and spread negativity about me. That's their problem, not mine. What they think about me is none of my business. Because if I worried about what people thought about me, they talked about me when I was broke. They talked about me when I couldn't make it through college. They talked about me when I failed over and over and over again. When I made money and I started helping people and traveling the world and speaking on stages in front of 25,000 people on private jets, they still talk about me. So if they're going to talk about you, why not give them something to talk about? Why not go out and make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people, make big impacts, and be an example? Because some people are an example and some people are warnings. I want to do and I've been both, right? I'm just being honest with you. As a parent, as a husband, there's times that I've been a great example. There's times that I've been a warning. Like, hey, I made a mistake. I messed up, talking to my kids. That's why my dad would always say, never put your faith in man or woman. You're always going to be disappointed, right? The only person you can have faith in and always count on is God. So here, let's go out. Let's do our best to make an impact. Let's do our best to go help and serve a lot of people. Let's do our best to be an example and not a warning. We're going to fail. We're going to mess up. But as long as we're failing forward and we're getting a little bit better every day. And here's the challenge, though. A lot of times it's dark. It's lonely. I'm here in this office, right? And there's a lot of times, man, I'm by myself and you're discouraged and you're just running on pure discipline, not motivation. Don't want to put one foot in front of another. But those things you're doing today, they don't seem to make that big of a difference at all. But all of a sudden, when you're on stages and you're getting these awards and you're buying your dream home and you're putting your kids in their dream school they want to go to, whatever it may be, you're buying your parents a car, you're tithing to your church, you're doing ministry work. What you did in the dark all of a sudden comes to light. And people then go, man, then guess what they're going to say? You got lucky. You're like, no, I was willing to do what you weren't willing to do to now live a life that you don't have and have things that you don't have. That's just the way it goes. So I don't know who needed to hear this today. I talked about things I had no intention of talking about, but it was on my heart, and I'm excited about 2024. I'm excited about seeing each and every one of you go out and reach that next level and have that spark. Sometimes it just takes that one spark, having that one person in your life that sees more in you than you see in yourself. I want to be that person. I didn't have that person for a long time. My mom always believed in me, right? When I didn't even believe in myself. Some of you don't even have that. So I want to be that person to you. So I encourage you, for those that you go, man, there's people that I know need to hear this. I don't care if it's a teenager. I don't care if it's an entrepreneur. Maybe it's a parent. Share this, tag them, right? This is a way for you to be the messenger, not the message, right? Let them learn from my mistakes so they don't have to go through that. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate your support. And man, we're going to go out and we're going to do some big things this year. I'm going to bring a lot of things to you that I believe can absolutely impact you. I want to share my journey as I'm in these new circles, as I'm learning these new things, right? I want to bring that to you as well. So everybody have a great day. Have an amazing rest of your month, and we'll see you on the next training. Take care.